accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show on Wednesday already. Let's go. Almost time to sleep in. Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. I'm literally fighting with a drinking cup right now. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And they're so on point when they tell you, hey, these are the 100 deadliest days of the year. The summer kicks off. Everybody's getting out of school. More people are on the streets, the sidewalks, their driveways. Kids are playing ball in the street, in the parks. Slow down. Watch for those kids running out from between cars, chasing their soccer ball, riding their bicycles, their scooters. You never know what's going to happen. Take your time. And if the worst happens, get the best at theadvocates.com, where you never reach into your pocket for the best legal advice. Yeah. Just go to theadvocates.com, get clear, risk-free advice. Hand them the claims process. Let the advocates fight the insurance industry while you get back to the best version of yourself. And the best part is you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Yes, I know you guys are tired of talking about the college football playoff and the SEC meetings, but I would ask you to use the SEC meetings as a litmus test almost. You guys say the SEC doesn't matter. It's the little brother to the Big Ten. Then why is it that anybody in football is talking about is the SEC meetings? If the Big Ten controls the college football world, all we're talking about is the SEC meetings, right? Jer Moorhead, different than Craven, the president of Georgia, goes on the Feinbaum show yesterday and quite literally lights the world on fire. And we're supposed to believe that the SEC is some secondary conference and it's all lip service. College football begins and ends in the SEC, whether I like it or not. And I don't particularly love it as a Notre Dame fan, but whether I like it or not is irrelevant. The facts of the case are not in dispute, Your Honor. The SEC runs college football. And I think, is resentment too strong? It's probably not, actually.
No, it's not.
I actually think a lot of people who aren't nasally and congested hate the SEC like Jay.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct.
How are you feeling today?
Just another day in paradise, baby. Just out here working, doing the show. So, we're grinding through it. It's not a big deal though.
Yeah, did you sleep better last night?
Yeah, I mean, I took the full dose of NyQuil, so I mean that knocked me out. But woke up in the NyQuil haze, not surprisingly. Just man, sound like crap, but we're here, so it's good.
Way to battle through. Let's hear from President Montgomery at Georgia, because I actually think this was, as much as I tend to loathe the Feinbaum show, if you listen to him dog whistle the rest of college football, and everybody ran with this bite about how time is running out.
How would you describe where we are today?
Pretty close to anarchy. Pretty close. I think time's running out on us. You and I had this same conversation a year ago. What have we accomplished in the last year? Nothing. Absolutely no progress. I'd say we're in a worse position now than we were a year ago. And that's concerning to me.
Do you agree that we're in a worse position now than we were a year ago?
I don't agree with that. No, I think that's, I don't know what he's looking at. I don't know what he's worried about, but the reality is that the sport itself is fine. I think the bigger issue is the money and how money is affecting the sport. So you have all these people who are spending a ton of money, seeing a lot of success on the field, and then you have a pile of people who are not spending money and not seeing success on the field, and that gap is widening every single day. So he can sit there as the president of Georgia and complain that we're running out or that we're in a time of anarchy. Sure. Like, I agree that there are some issues here, but I definitely don't agree that, if nothing is done, college football is going to blow up or just not going to be here. I think that's a little bit excessive.
I would agree. I don't think college football is not going to be here. But you look at this Cruz Cantwell legislation, and Ted Cruz is what he is. That's not the discussion. It tends to go there when you talk about this legislation. But if you look at the Cruz Cantwell legislation I think is going to get to a vote. I don't know how it doesn't. This bill does one thing critically important to the future of college football. It gives the NCAA, and this is an important distinction, it gives the NCAA antitrust protections. And I think that it's important because the other thing that I think came out of yesterday is the fact that Steve Sarkisian listens to the Monty show. And listen, I think we all know that everybody listens to the Monty show. But listen to what Sark says here about the no fear culture in college sports.
That right now we're living in a society of no fear when it comes to college athletics. And when I break a rule, if I don't like the fact that I got caught breaking that rule or not doing what I was supposed to do, to go get a judge to say, hey, get an injunction, we'll deal with that a year from now, I don't think that that's what we want. And we've got to find a way to get past this era of college athletics. I don't know how to get that done. I'm a sociology major for anybody at Ole Miss that's wondering. Okay, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Okay, but my point is there are smart enough people that can figure this out, and we're trying to get federal intervention. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, so if that doesn't work, what's plan B? What's plan C? What's plan D to try to get us to a point where we can get back on the same page, where we're not always saying, yeah, that's the rule, but here's a way I can get around the rule. And even if I get caught, here's what I'm going to do when I get caught. Like we've got to get out of that way of thinking and just get to a point of, here's the rules. Let's go try to navigate within the rules and be the best we can be. And if I step out of bounds, here's your penalty. Okay, let's get back in bounds and let's keep playing.
That's exactly what I believe I have said 100,000 million times.
Facts.
We don't like the rule when it's applied to us. Yeah, we're going to find a judge in our
Abilene
area.
Facts.
And we're going to sue, and we're going to make it so we don't have to follow the rules ourselves. But then when somebody else does the same thing, oh man, it's an outrage and they've got to be banned. That's what this is. And I am amazed that we continue to play these stupid games where we believe that this will self-legislate or it's not going to fix itself. And in my opinion, I agree 100% with Sark. There's got to be steadfast rules that you cannot go to your buddy's best friend from college who happens to be a district judge. You can't. And when the NCAA makes a ruling, I want to play another year of college because I don't feel like adulting. I'm going to go sue to get my eligibility back. Okay, welcome back to college football.
Yeah, and the problem is that's not just a college football problem, right? I mean, that's a college athletics problem.
It
I mean,
is.
we've been seeing that across the landscape. So I just think that the good old boy system, the buddy system that's taken place, definitely has to be dealt with. And I think that this culture of rules for thee, not for me, and even if I break those rules, I'm going to go and sue. It's just soft culture, right? I mean, it's not doing things in a high character fashion. You're not doing things in a way where it's like, yeah, I want to win, but I also care about winning the right way. And that's
Correct.
what's lost in college football. So I think that I appreciate that Sark is talking about it. And I appreciate that at the SEC meetings, these guys are all talking about it, as they should. But when they talk about it, I think about, like, well, what is their perspective? Where are they having this conversation from? Well, Sark's having this conversation from a standpoint of having what, like $30 to $40 million on his roster, probably,
Yeah.
right? Like on top of college football in that sense. So imagine all the people who don't have a $30 or $40 million roster, who only have a $10 or $15 million roster, who are losing players, who are having to deal with this and can't fight to get their $1 million back from Texas Tech, or maybe don't have the war chest to go out and battle for top tier talent. That's the systemic problem, which inevitably brings us back to the point we always get to, which is there needs to be a dividing line between those with money and those without, because when both of those parties play together in the same sandbox, there's only one that's going to benefit. And we're seeing this day in and day out. So I don't know if I agree with Sark. I don't know that the legislation fixes it. Like, I don't know, like, what that, if that'll actually fix it, or if we get another dose of unintended consequences.
I think Cruz Cantwell does some good things. Limiting a kid's ability to make money is never a good thing, and it does that. It restricts NIL workarounds. It restricts transferring and player movement. It is. I mean, it essentially hands all the power back to the NCAA. I mean, that's really what it does. If we're true telling about what the Cruz Cantwell legislation does, like, I think if Congress passes the current version of the bill, I mean, you're going to see things like, what's the right way to say it? I think NIL, the brakes will be put on NIL, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that. I think if you're a college athlete, specifically football and basketball, and you're making a school billions of dollars collectively, because that's what essentially is happening in college football. The kids are making the adults billions of dollars.
And everyone agrees with that, right? Like,
yeah.
How many times have you heard a head coach say college football pays the bills for everybody else, right? Like, college football, covers the lacrosse team. College football covers track and field and swimming and all these other sports. So everybody agrees that these players are going out on that football field and providing for everybody else. But it just seems like that they don't want to focus on the real problem. They want to focus on, the money going to the kids as payment for their services. And that's the part where I say, yeah, if you think that the fix to college football is coming from a good place, you're lost on this topic, because they're not interested in finding a solution that allows
I agree.
continue to get paid.
Yeah.
They're trying to find a solution that just simply controls the money in a way that makes it so that recruiters and head coaches and basically administrative personnel are not incentivized to pay kids more money to go get them. Right?
That's right.
They're trying to remove. They don't want that to be the, hey, well, here's $5 because Ned was only going to pay you $1 type deal, so come play here. That's what they're trying to remove. But I think if you remove that, and that also takes all the money out of the kid's pocket, I don't like that solution. That's not an all-encompassing solution. That's just you essentially saying, hey, let's wind the clocks back and make everything more stringent again. So but again, we shouldn't be surprised, because we know old white hair that's what old white hair wants, is to take the money from the kids.
Yeah. And I think, just reading some of the comments already, people very much believe that you have to do something. But if you're going to do something, let's do the right thing, because I look at what Moorhead said yesterday about Georgia and self-governance. And my question is, why aren't more universities and conferences doing this? Like, why are you not going to a model where instead of bitching about the rules, you make your own rules?
But I do think we could create a plan where we're going to superimpose in the SEC a number of rules that the CSC has failed to properly follow and enforce. And we could do at least that. Still have the CSC there, potentially still have the NCAA there, but we would operate and actually try to create an enforcement mechanism ourselves of rules that we can abide by. Now, when we do that, it may be the case that other leagues will then follow suit and do similar things. And that would be perfectly permissible under antitrust law.
Why aren't you doing it already?
Why? And I think largely the SEC is and they're not the only ones anymore, but they're the loudest ones saying, hey, we're going to make we're following our own standards. Right? Like this announcement yesterday that you're not going to get Mercer in Alabama playing in October or November anymore. That cupcake game is removed and a P4 opponent has to be put in that spot. It's exactly what you should be doing. Right? So the SEC, I think, is already largely self-governing this stuff. But when we get in, people get their stuff turned when we get into NIL, transfer portal, collectives, anything related to the money-making mechanisms in college athletics. And the SEC starts talking about ways to make more of it and legislate it on its own. And immediately the world is on fire and Greg Sankey's the devil. And,
Yeah, I don't understand why we have this sort of dynamic at play where everyone hates the SEC and the SEC sucks and the SEC is trying to blow up college football and the SEC is essentially the devil. But then when the SEC talks about self-governance and doing things a certain way, what they would deem the right way, and trying to operate at a certain level, then it's like, oh, well, the SEC is trying to break away from college football and we can't have that. And it's like, well, hold on a second. You're all out here complaining about rules for thee, not for me. You want to rip guys like Lane and you want to talk about Pete Golding and you want to talk about Dabo and tampering and all these different issues. So then the SEC responds to that and says, hey, well, why don't we as a conference lead the way through our actions and behave a certain way and have a certain standard in terms of rules and discipline and how we're going to go about it, and then you guys react negatively to that. And that's what I don't understand is like all this negative coverage around what they're trying to do. Now, I understand the certain anxiety conferences like the Big 12 or the ACC might have with the SEC. I see this term all the time, breaking away or like splitting away from the NCAA, thus splitting away from the other Power 3 conferences. I understand the anxiety around that, but they just voted to not play, some tiny ass, technical institute college on that weekend, which tells me they're not interested in breaking away. They need you guys, right? Like they're going to need another Power 4.
But what does breaking away mean? Like I
don't know.
People,
That's what I'm saying. I don't even think people know what that means.
Oh, I think it's very clear. I think what the SEC is talking about, and it specifically is not following the NCAA's rules, creating their own set of rules that determine how an athletic department inside of the SEC conference can operate. That's what it means. That's all it's ever meant. That doesn't mean that they're not going to schedule the Big 12, the ACC, or the Big 10. It's never meant that Texas and Ohio State aren't going to play again. I don't think it's ever meant, well, you guys, we're just going to play ourselves. You guys, you go stand in the corner and, pull your President Moorhead, right? Like that's not what they're talking about. They are talking about a governance model to make them more money and insulate their institutions from liability.
Tampering.
I think that's all this is, right? Because I'll go back to, and I want to say you lost your mind over this when we played this. What was this? I guess back in February when Greg Sankey said this.
We built something really special. I'd be fine if every other institution and every other conference stayed right where they are. I think we've built something with our 16 members that, again, I'll reference yesterday, the game between South Carolina and Texas in Greenville, South Carolina, with a full arena. It wasn't that way when we first went to Greenville in 2005, or even when we started there on our current agreements. And we'll see the kind of excitement again in Nashville. The TV, the media interest in our games is spectacular. I think you need relationships. You always want to be compared, and you want to be competing against the best on a national level. And we've taken what has been historically a regional sport, in college football in particular, or college sports broadly, used the platform of a great region in our 12 states and elevated the interest to a national level.
What is wrong with anything he just said there?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think it's an inherent advantage not to be spread out over the entire country, which I think is
100%
is something that very much is a differing opinion when you compare the Big Ten and the SEC. Because the Big Ten, is spread out in all 4 time zones. And, you look at that and you're like, all right, well, hey, if you look at the SEC, they're just in that, let's use big fancy words, quadrant of the country. So I think that's a big advantage, though. You're talking about an hour or 2 plane flight the whole year, basically, right? I mean, 3 hours at most. And then in the CFP, that's when your travel kind of picks up. And I think that the SEC is acutely aware of the fact that, yes, they need to do more winning in the college football playoff. But I think what they also understand is the concept of profitability, meaning that it's not just your overall revenue number. Like they're everything I hear out of the SEC right now all comes back to, hey, well, how can we limit our downside, right? Like things like fines, things like NIL, all the things that cost us money outside of just like paying for footballs and equipment and just standard stuff. So how can we limit all of that? And then how can we up our profitability? Which is why I think you're hearing about, this cruise legislation. You're hearing about Greg Sankey talking about like, hey, we got to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction. And it's why you're getting the P4 on that weekend, because what does that help them do? Which I think no one's talking about. Hey, if you schedule yet another P4 on your calendar at that time of year, that's another full building for you, right? That maybe wouldn't have been as full if you were playing, Nancy's Technical Knitting Institute. So I think that people get wrapped up in the politics, if you will, of the SEC meetings and miss the point of all they're trying to do is make more money so they keep their options open. And they are very good at that. I would go as far as to say the SEC is exceptional at that, because they don't have, excluding Georgia and first team all SRT, excluding them, they don't really have, pederast you or Michigan scandal or any of these issues at a conference level that the Big Ten's had to deal with. So they don't have all those billable hours at play. They ain't got all those problems. So that's I just think you got to be aware of that.
Ain't or don't, or finna not gonna.
Come on, dude.
I don't know. I don't know.
Get a life, man. Come on, man.
I think you're exactly right. Your best point there, and I want to credit you for making a best point. This has been a good show. Take more nights, Will. No, I'm not, sir. But my point is, when you talk about regionality, I do think that's really important. This is the Memphis to the Pac-12 argument, right? The regionality that the SEC has, its ability to control costs and its ability to play in really big games in the regular season. Now, the last 2 years, they haven't won a national championship. That's significant. But you're talking about a conference, and this goes back to Big Ten fans saying that, the SEC is irrelevant now. what was the Big Ten for what? I don't know, from essentially outside of Ohio State all the way back to the early 90s? You know, when you had, you guys remember when Miami and Washington, Dennis Erickson and Don James, but Bama, Florida State, Nebraska, Florida, Michigan, Nebraska, Tennessee, Florida State, Oklahoma, Miami, Ohio State in 2002, LSU, USC, right? Like Texas, Florida, LSU. You go back, how long was the gap between the Big Ten winning, or excuse me, Ohio State winning, right? You look at the way college sports acts, it's a cycle. The SEC will win again, probably soon, probably very soon. But I just think you can't continue to go on and on and on complaining about the SEC. They're doing the things that we all should be doing. I think setting rules and taking the court system out of it, and if that happens through Cruz Cantwell, or if that happens through self-governance, I almost don't care. I want to see people follow the rules, because this Brendan Sorsby situation yesterday is just not the perfect example. And I know that everybody in Lubbock gets their saddle with a burr under it when I say Brendan Sorsby should never, ever play college football again. You are Pete Rose of college football. You broke the rule that you knew you couldn't break, and now you're going to sue after, as we reported on this show 6 weeks ago when this broke or whatever it was.
Facts.
The Big 12 was not going to certify Brendan Sorsby for competition. The NCAA, as we reported first on the show, was going to take his eligibility away. And they did. And why did they do that? Did they do that because Cody Campbell is some kind of jerkbag and people don't like him? No. Did they do that because there are just too many tortillas being thrown in Lubbock? We need to prove a point.
Jackass.
You know why they did it? Because he doesn't even dispute that he bet on college football.
Oh.
Are you allowed to bet on college football? According to the NCAA rulebook, can you wager on college football as a college football player? I believe that's a no. What's the punishment for that? Oh, we're going to take your eligibility. Okay, well, I'm just going to go find a judge who's going to tell you to pound sand. And again, I would encourage you. I would encourage you to listen to Steve Sarkisian. Who's Sarkisian talking about?
That right now we're living in a society of no fear when it comes to college athletics. And when I break a rule, if I don't like the fact that I got caught breaking that rule or not doing what I was supposed to do, to go get a judge to say, hey, get an injunction, we'll deal with that a year from now, I don't think that that's what we want. And we've got to find a way to get past this era of college athletics. I don't know how to get that done. I'm a sociology major for anybody at Ole Miss that's wondering. Okay, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Okay, but my point is there are smart enough people that can figure this out, and we're trying to get federal intervention. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, so if that doesn't work, what's plan B? What's plan C? What's plan D to try to get us to a point where we can get back on the same page, where we're not always saying, yeah, that's the rule, but here's a way I can get around the rule. And even if I get caught, here's what I'm going to do when I get caught. Like we've got to get out of that way of thinking and just get to a point of, here's the rules. Let's go try to navigate within the rules and be the best we can be. And if I step out of bounds, here's your penalty. Okay, let's get back in bounds and let's keep playing.
I mean, pretty straightforward.
Well said.
Are you telling me he's not talking about Brendan Sorsby?
I mean, I think he's talking about Sorsby. I think he's talking about anybody who obviously breaks a rule and then tries to spin it. And I think it's a slap in the face to everybody that works their ass off in college football for Brendan Sorsby and his legal team to make the case that, or try to come up with a defense that's based on, well, I only made those bets to get closer to my teammates. I made those bets to have skin in the game. And I think that's just an awful look.
But what is Texas Tech saying? Oh, listen.
Linda,
listen. He's a good kid. He made a mistake, and he's receiving our ongoing care and monitoring. He won't bet again.
It's not his fault the Great American Ballpark bookie got him. I mean, hell, that guy's got 1,000 of them.
And I loved yesterday the Tech fans being like, he went to rehab. Right, but he still gambled on college football.
Oh,
admittedly.
But Monty, that doesn't matter. He went to rehab.
But he still bet on college football. Why did he go to rehab? Why did he go to rehab? Oh, he had an addiction. What was that addiction? One that was very tough for him to break. But what was he addicted to? Sports gambling. Did he gamble on college football? Well, yeah, he did. And Tech fan doesn't want to say it. Tech fan doesn't want to say it out loud. Brendan Sorsby bet on college football and should never be allowed to play college football again. Go to the supplemental draft. It is the rule you cannot break. Go to the supplemental. This is a basketball player point shaving, period. Done. You're caught point shaving. Should you ever be allowed to play college basketball again? No, you shouldn't.
Do you view this season as a failure?
And, well, I'm happy that Brendan Sorsby went to therapy.
That doesn't absolve you of your sin, bro. Like again,
nope.
it's I don't understand when this culture started. I'll be honest. And it does annoy me. Like, why is it okay for someone to go out and break the rule and really break the only rule you can't break, honestly, because you could do a lot of bad stuff and still get on the field. We all know that. So you can just some arbitrary examples. You can put hands on your lady, still get on the field. You can take PEDs, still get on the field. You can, get in trouble with the legal system in a variety of different ways and still get on the field. But you mess with the integrity of the game by gambling, yeah, that's the one you can't break. You're done. But Brendan, for whatever reason, thinks he's above the law. And so he's going to go and sue and try to get back on the field when what he should have done, and this is what I said about Bediako and all those other dudes, what he should have done is took it on the chin and said, you know what? Yeah, I did gamble. I did break the only rule you can't break. And while I highly regret my decisions, I'm done playing college football because it would be immoral of me and wrong of me to try to get back on the field after what I did. So I'm going to go ahead and get in the supplemental draft, and I'm going to start that process. If you would just say that, if you would just take care of this in a high character fashion, you'd get drafted. I guarantee you one of those meatheads in the NFL would take a flyer on you after the season you just had at Cincinnati. But you're too busy paying for billable hours to see the opportunity in front of you. And that's what bothers me. That's the true issue we have in college football. It's not that he gambled, right? It's not what you did. It's how you handled it. And he just handled it. He's just handling it the complete wrong way.
Yeah, I think it's incredible to me that he will get it. This is Josh Jacobs yesterday, the Packers running back. He'll play football again. Even though the NFL says we take domestic violence seriously.
Yeah, sure you do, Raj.
Josh Jacobs, the running back for the Green Bay Packers, was arrested yesterday on heinous domestic violence allegations, including strangulation. He'll play football again. He will. I'm the guy who says
through a guy. Oh yeah, it's fine. You can go home and do whatever you want.
But I'm a guy that says if you're convicted of a felony, you should not be allowed to play professional sports. It's just my belief.
Mm-hmm.
With all that money and all of that notoriety comes great responsibility. If you want to make millions of dollars in NIL, and let's not forget, Brendan Sorsby still is not paid Cincinnati. Still is not paid Cincinnati.
Will Cincinnati ever get paid that money?
I hope they put a judgment on him. He owes them that money contractually. So, all right, let's get to work on your comments. Good morning. Hello. I hope you all are well, unlike Jake, the king of NyQuil. A little shaggy over there, bud. You going to get a haircut at some point?
Yeah, some point. Not at this point, though. Just yeah.
Okay. Hello, Matt Ritson. Welcome to the Nightmare. Hello. Good to see you. Chewy. Morning, Monty and Jakey, 2 viruses.
Yes.
Are you feeling better? Are you moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I slept good last night. NyQuil definitely did its job in that respect. Just grinding through it, man. Deep head cold, bro. Deep head cold. So
well, this weekend you can sleep it all away, right?
Yeah, it'll be not doing anything this weekend, so I'll just be able to pass out all weekend. It'll be great. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Lopes Van Gabe makes a really good point. Now that you're done taking NyQuil, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Hello, San Diego State Glenn. Good to see you. Jeremiah's a champion. Last week I was sick. This week Jake is sick. Sick Jays.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
You guys swap and spit.
Everybody gets a test.
Randy Duffy. Don. Okay.
They have the sniffles.
Angry Phil Benzer. SEC can do whatever they want to do. I don't watch SEC sports.
Well, so you're the one.
So you don't watch college football then? Okay. Media sensation.
Here we go.
SEC hasn't won anything in college football in years. Now, never mind,
It's so predictable, bro. So predictable.
So let me get this right. The national championship has gone to the Big Ten for the last 2 seasons. And no, scumbag Harbaugh's championship doesn't count. So you've won back-to-back national championships. Before that, we had the Bama dynasty, the Georgia dynasty, Texas. Like, you look at how good. I think I can go back and read him again. LSU, Florida, that guy Tim Tebow. You might remember him.
Yeah.
You had some others mixed in there. Jimbo at Florida State. Jesus Christ at Clemson.
Saban,
Jesus Christ at Clemson. No, outside of the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
You had the paper champions at UCF. Nobody ever won anything recently. Never mind that just 3 seasons ago, Kirby was coming off of all-team SRT back-to-back champions. Before that, it was, the SEC had won 4 straight and 5 out of 6. Oh, no, they haven't won anything. I'm disappointed to be a Texas Tech fan. Do Texas Tech fans really care that Brendan Sorsby is like? At what point do you have any? I don't know, any morals about it. At what point do you have any?
At what point
shame?
Does Cody Campbell speak on this and come out and talk about what happened or like what they're doing about it?
Do you think ever at any point that a Texas Tech fan will say, because I know you guys are national champions and you've won every game and you're a dynasty now and we totally get it. Because that's what I hear from Texas Tech. We're the best in the business, Monty. You're not. You haven't won anything yet. You haven't won anything. So,
but Monty, the Big 12, come on.
Congratulations, you're on Steve Sarkisian's radar.
We did what we did.
And so is Old Miss, but it's fine. My point is, at what point does a Texas Tech fan show up on this show with some humility and admit that Brendan Sorsby should never play college football again?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Because you're the only one saying that he should be eligible to play. You're the only ones. Hello, Dana Marie. Happy hump day to you.
Still have never received a DM from you confirming you're real.
I would agree. Matt Muldoon. When someone says the words perfectly permissible, you know it's shafting someone.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a bunch of legal jargon that the Georgia president was speaking on. No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay McClanahan. I would like to see the SEC breakaway. It might spur other conferences to do the same thing. They need to get out of the NCAA lacking everything. I think you need to set your own rules and enforce those rules with violence.
Yeah, dude, the problem with breaking away is the concept of breaking away is like the shiny new car effect, right? Like you see this thing and you're really excited about it and you feel like it's like this perfect situation. But then as soon as you break away, you're like, oh, like we can only play each other. So we don't get to play Ohio State. We don't get to play Michigan in the good years. We don't get to play, the Oregons or the SCs or the Washingtons or whoever. We don't get to play those bigger brands. And while I like the SEC a lot, the funny part about this conversation is I actually think that Ohio State and others, when they're playing well, put on some of the best games. That Oregon-Penn State game was one of the best college football games we've seen in some time.
Yes.
And regardless of what you think of those teams, just from a pure fan standpoint, like I don't want to lose the opportunity for great teams to play each other. So I'm never going to advocate for the SEC to break away, but I do think it is funny to me that we're hearing all this, like, again, the Georgia president saying things like, we're going to create our own rules in addition to what we're already working with, to make sure that everyone's playing by the same standard. Well, bro, what, like, you're trying to sell us that you just invented fire. You could have been doing this already. Like, you could have already been doing this to avoid a bunch of drama, and you just haven't, which tells me, again, coming from a guy who's running Georgia, that Georgia understands, hey, like, we are at the top of the table in the SEC in a lot of respects, but now that's not good enough. Now we need to make sure that we do it in a way that is respectable and is law-abiding, if you will. And that to me is what that clip kind of reeks of, is that, hey, like, we want to continue to win, but we got to change the way we go about it behind the scenes so that everyone respects it. And that's what's clear.
Chewy Gonzalez, the jabronis on Locked On. Why do you listen to nonsense? Think it's a great idea for SEC to see. Okay. You'd have to know what it means for the SEC to seed to be thrilled with it, and they don't. And all the SEC is proposing is creating a set of rules. And I would also point out part of the SEC's thinking, I do believe, includes collective bargaining. Because I think they understand that's the only way that you're going to get real authority over athlete conduct or misconduct. I think
compensation.
You're going to see, well, compensation as well. But I think you're going to see, you have to have collective bargaining.
But see, how would that, because I agree with you, but I think the challenge with that is, like, collective bargaining can't just take place in the SEC, but then not take place in the other Power Four. That's the problem. Agree. And that sort of divide in college football is why things never move forward. And so we were talking earlier in the show about whether, the comments from the Georgia president about time running out was like fear mongering or actually had legs. I don't think college football is running out of time or is somehow on a 10,000 foot cliff or something. I don't think that's where we are, but I do think that it's very clearly what's not sustainable is the monetary level of competition. The $40 million NIL budget is absolutely eviscerating the Boise States of the world and anybody at the power level who isn't interested in winning national championships. And so, yeah, you do need collective bargaining, 100%. That has to take place, but that won't take place with the SEC succeeding or leaving college football. That's a fairyland concept That's a clickbaiter concept. That's never going to happen. Yeah, it's an effing fugazi. It's not real, man. It's over here. It's over there. Like, it's not real. It's fake. But people love to operate in that space. And I'm telling you, as a show that's pretty much spot on with the stuff we tell you, because we don't just run our mouth, that they're not going to leave college football. What they want is they want a set of rules that ideally, in a perfect world, I think would carry them through 2030 in conjunction with, at a minimum, the Big Ten, but ideally the Power Four.
I also think that in a large swath of people, and I know that we've talked about this repeatedly, but a large swath of people, a large swath of college fans do not understand how college football actually operates. If you don't understand why Greg Sankey says all the time, we can't shrink the game, we have to grow the game. You can't have the SEC just play itself, right? You can't have. That's why there was so much smoke around this concept of the SEC and the Big Ten leaving and creating something together. That is a usable, leverageable model where they could create their own rules. You could do all of that under whatever that was going to be. But I don't think it was ever close because Tony Petitti does not have the testicular fortitude to get people in the Big Ten to coalesce around that idea. Facts. He does not have the leadership. He does not have the people skills. Greg Sankey commands respect. He doesn't even ask for it. He commands respect. Tony Petitti has no respect. It's a huge difference. It is what, when you hear Greg Sankey speak, and I think we still have the bite where he talks about we want, we want, what did he say? I want ideas.
I don't need lectures from others about good of the game. I don't lecture others about good of the game. And coordinating press releases about good of the game. Again, okay, you can issue your press statement, but I'm actually looking for ideas to move us forward.
I think that is spot on.
Yeah.
That's called commanding respect. When you're taking shots at people, I believe he was talking about the Big 12, we're going to put out a press release and we're going to say we're doing what's good for the game. Congratulations on that press release. You did nothing that was good for the game. That's what Greg Sankey is saying. And I know that he is wildly unpopular. You hate him. Everybody hates him. He's the best commissioner in college athletics and likely in all of professional sports. And in my opinion, if you had a conference and he's not the first guy you call, you've lost your mind.
Right.
You've lost your mind. He's built a powerhouse football program and a powerhouse basketball program, and they're making tons of money. He has done more for his constituents in the SEC than any other commissioner has. And he continues to tell you, we cannot do what we're doing and what we've always done because you're just going to keep paying lawyers over and over and over again. Do you want to be the Pac-12? Because that's, in my opinion, that's where the Big 12, the ACC, that's where they're headed. The only thing saving the Big 10 is that they have a revenue juggernaut in their TV contract. It's the only thing keeping the no desire universities alive in the Big 10. It's the only thing that keeps Rutgers relevant. It's a TV contract. That's it. And the Big 10, much to your point, the Big 10's biggest problem is USC has to go to New Jersey every year.
Yeah.
USC's got to go to, it's got continental reach, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, and USC's got to figure out, and so does Oregon, so does Washington, so does UCLA. They all got to figure out how to win more on the East Coast. And I'll never have, and I've seen this take place firsthand. I like the issues with travel and what it looks like, and chartering, not chartering, and all that, and how you travel and what it looks like and everything. And it's arduous. It's not easy. If you're a West Coast school, you're going to leave a day earlier than anybody else would to compensate for time change. So your players don't feel just awful when they step on the field.
Yep.
So, it's not easy, but I just think that the SEC and the Big Ten getting together and leaving, that could have legs, but the SEC on its own is never going to happen.
Yeah. How is it good for college football if the SEC pulls away and does its own thing? Because it will force others to do the same. I think Greg Sankey's tired of trying to pull everybody along in the right direction. Honest to goodness, I think that's why you're hearing the president at Georgia on Feinbaum yesterday, and I'll play it again if you missed it earlier. Self-governance is coming to the SEC, whether you want it to or not. And I think it's absolutely the right way to go.
But I do think we could create a plan where we're going to superimpose in the SEC a number of rules that the CSC has failed to properly follow and enforce. And we could do at least that. Still have the CSC there, potentially still have the NCAA there, but we would operate and actually try to create an enforcement mechanism ourselves of rules that we can abide by. Now, when we do that, it may be the case that other leagues will then follow suit and do similar things. And that would be perfectly permissible under antitrust law.
Yeah. You got to stop getting sued. So I think that, Jeremiah, to answer your question, that's how it works. That's how it works. Ken Maynor, hello. Locked on Big 12 doesn't even cover Big 12. They focus on realignment clickbait.
Yeah, and we're focused on what we're talking about here.
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like the Lockdown series does research before they actually start. They don't. They only get paid when they get views. That's how that system is set up. Oh, look, the Oklahoma State fan in the room is here. I want a super league. ACC, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, and let's have 12 or 16 team playoff with no G6 teams.
Hey, bro, I got a question for you. Just asking for a friend.
Uh-oh.
Why is it that you tweet at us when now you're in the members only group? And
does he tweet at us?
Yeah, he tweeted something. I can't remember. Oh, the Sorsby thing. You tweeted the ESPN Sorsby thing at me or us. I don't know. Why not just do it in the members only group now that you have access to that? I mean, that's the whole point, right? Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, I don't. I thankfully do not read my Twitter notifications, but you do you. James, go back to charting. We're not gonna talk about expanded college football playoff. Yeah, you know. Oh, look, people who support pedophilia are here. Pissing down rain right now. Have had some good thunderstorms. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's just funny that the SEC wants rules when, per Kirby Smart, they were playing players illegally as a come on. Stop. Like, how do I break this to you? Everybody pays players illegally. It's happening right now. It hasn't stopped. NIL has not changed that. You have deals being submitted and rejected and still being executed.
Because it's illegal.
Like, I love the, they just bought championships. Who hasn't?
Rules.
Who hasn't? When did it become a bad thing to buy a championship? Are you telling me that in every sport, see the LA Dodgers, are the Dodgers not buying championships? Are you telling me that OKC's not paying off officials? That's buying a championship. Okay, I'm bitter. Sark knows what's up and hit the nail on the head. I agree. I believe he did. I believe he did as well. Without question. I believe he did as well. Mike Chase, hello. Hope you and the fam are well. Jeremiah, Jake's not on the approved list. Spit swappers. Okay. Got to be approved.
Didn't know there was a list, bro.
Send Jake an application. The SEC is going to do whatever they want to do anyway, so let them play with themselves. It's not a play with themselves thing.
Bro, this is a family program, so you talking about people playing with themselves is a little out of the box.
Why do we have to talk about pud pulling?
Yeah, I don't know.
The SEC is not trying to eliminate others or relationships. What the SEC is trying to do is set up a system of rules and bylaws that keep them out of court. That's what they're trying. That's as simple as I can say it. And I don't know why this is shocking, because everybody's trying to do it. Who's got the pull to do it? The SEC is the only one. Because Greg Sankey and I think other coaches were saying this yesterday. They don't report to their athletic directors and presidents, right? Do their athletic directors have real say over what happens in this league? No. Greg Sankey has real say.
And we were saying that.
I mean, and some are frustrated with that. So it just is what it is. Ryan Duffy, most Tech fans are now saying, turn the page on the kid. Man, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, turning the page on the kid would include paying the fine, bro. So do you think you should have to pay the $1 million?
Yeah. You know, I'm a Texas Tech band, and I do not think that he should play. Fan? I don't think it's a good look for the school or the community, for that matter. I would agree with that. I'm from Lubbock, and that city prides itself on integrity and family values. They need to let him go. Totally agree. Totally agree. Hero 75, hello. My friend who is a Texas Tech fan tried to convince me he doesn't matter to Tech because he was just going to be a backup.
Yeah, that's a load of crap.
You paid him that much money to be a backup?
But he wasn't going to back up the ACL terror known as Will Hammond.
And the funny thing is, and here's what I don't understand about Texas Tech fan. Will Hammond is good. Will Hammond is actually pretty good. He beat top 5 QBs in this league. Now, according to our resident Oklahoma State fan, James, he's no DJ Lagway, but he'll do.
Or Mestamaker, but, you know.
Esthetician.
Right.
But he'll do. Will Hammond can actually play. Like, Brendan Sorsby is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. There's no question about that. So, Ryan Duffy, Sorsby ruined any chance Tech had at winning a CFP game against the Big Ten SEC. Big 12 title is still totally reasonable goal with Hammond on the roster. Yes. 47 straight. Hello. Is there a split? If there is a split that happens, would that mean that there's an NCAA national champion and an SEC Big Ten? No. Because I don't think that's what the SEC is talking about, at least not to the folks I talk to. They're not talking about, the problem is the Super League, until there's a new entity, is impossible. Forming a new entity with financial guidelines, that's the other thing that I think most people don't understand. An idiot-faced podcast guy doesn't get it. There's going to be a component if the SEC goes to self-governance. There's going to be a component where you have to spend a certain amount of money. It is going to require a certain NIL investment. It is going to require a certain profit-sharing investment. It is going to require a certain academic investment. It's going to be $500 million a year, man. I'm telling you, it's not cheap to play major college football. And what you're seeing, my belief is, what you're seeing in all of this consternation is you are seeing the Baylors and the TCUs and the Oak States and the dregs of this league in the Big 12. You are seeing the dregs of the ACC and the dregs of the Big Ten not wanting to embrace the changing landscape of college athletics. They want to repress the kids' ability to earn money. They want to repress the kids' ability to change universities. They want to repress that kid's ability to go to the professional ranks. And they want to compensate them with a degree that they likely won't use. It doesn't work. It's untenable. And the only league that completely embraces that is the SEC. So the SEC on par makes more money. The SEC on par has more reach, because while their TV deal is not as lucrative as the Big Ten's, it's got significantly more reach. You don't ever have to wonder how to watch an SEC football game.
Nope.
Or an SEC basketball game.
And that's actually a convenience that I love, honestly.
I got notified through the ESPN app about SEC baseball. You don't have to wonder how to find their stuff. The Big Ten doesn't have that claim. The Big 12 certainly doesn't have that claim.
Yeah, I can speak to this a little bit too, just with app experiences. Like I had Big Ten Plus for this softball and baseball season, and it's not that good. Like it is clunky compared to the ESPN app. And I know it's probably not a fair fight, right? The ESPN app obviously has been developed over many years, and
right.
But it's certainly just like for like, not even close experience wise. And I think that it's, I don't know. I just think that that's the other problem for college athletics. There's just this line in the sand. You're either a Big Ten person or you're an SEC person. And for me, as someone who's not really a massive college football fan, but someone who obviously does this show and covers college football and obviously up on the news and watches the games and everything, I don't really find myself being like a fan of either of them, but I do find myself respecting what the SEC is doing a little bit more than what the Big Ten is doing. I'm not particularly fond of how the Big Ten, chooses to go about disciplining their members, or anything like that. I thought the way Petiti handled the Harbaugh thing was super soft. Even the Sharon Moore stuff is incredibly soft. I just think it's all just coach speak for we're not going to punish anybody. And that's kind of my issue. And I do think, in fairness to the conversation, Kirby should be disciplined for what's going on at Georgia with the vehicles and speeding and guys getting in trouble. Yep. Like at some point you got to be reprimanded, man.
Does that happen? Probably not.
Probably not, but I'd like to see something happen. Minimum a fine.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me how all that will happen. But, the Frog Father, Jake is a NyQuil haze. Jake is in a NyQuil haze. Be nice to him. Are you in a NyQuil haze, Jake?
Not anymore. When I woke up, I was, for sure. Yeah. The NyQuil haze is a real thing.
Okay. I mean, listen, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Does NyQuil work?
Yeah, I think it works.
What does it do? What does NyQuil do for you?
NyQuil just knocks you. For me, it just knocks me down. If I take NyQuil, it's because I need to essentially guarantee that I'm going to get some semblance of sleep. Even when you have a head cold and it's harder to breathe and all that, like if you take NyQuil, it should back down like the cough I had yesterday or any type of it'll make it so
now you're coughing.
Well, I had a little bit of a cough yesterday, yeah, because I think the issue was I was getting dried out, and so I had the second half of yesterday I had a bunch more water and the cough kind of backed down because I think I just gotten dried out, but the cough hasn't really been a thing today, which I'm grateful for. But the NyQuil thing just makes it so that like when I take it, I sleep really heavy, and so when you wake up out of that as early as we do, there's a bit of a haze you go through for the first probably 20 to 30 minutes you're awake. You are kind of in you got to
get in that shower, dude.
Yeah,
you got to get in a hot shower.
You just got to get in the shower, and you like this is just to give you guys some perspective. So like when you get up as early as we do, you have a routine in the morning. Like I put my clothes in the same spot. Like my shower routine is the same. Like I know based on where I'm at, my shower routine, what time it is. So like it's not even a thing where I'm in a rush. I just go through a routine. And so when you're getting up and you're going through that routine, but you're in the NyQuil haze, it's like things like how fast your eyes adjust to when you turn the light on. that are different,
Yes.
or like how quickly you get used to the water being warm is different. Like it's those little things that you're like, yeah, still kind of in the NyQuil haze, and you don't really get fully out of it until I didn't really get fully out of it until I was like, cutting our video and doing the full, like really getting my mind engaged on something. It took a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
it's brutal being sick. Knock on tabletop.
yeah.
It's brutal. My wife is over it, and she's still hacking up alien life forms. Right? Like it's awful, and I am so thankful that I don't generally run into that stuff.
Yeah, I'm lucky in the sense that it's definitely not like a full respiratory thing. It's like, it's not my lungs, it's not a chest thing. It's just a head thing. So that's good and bad, because I sound like crap, but at the same time, like I'm not like dying in the day to day.
How's your Zepbound thing going?
It's going fine. I've waned off of it.
You're not using it anymore.
No, well, because I didn't want to keep paying for it. So I was using my healthcare spending account to pay for it. I had like a lot of money in there that I just didn't know I had in there from my job and what we do.
Yeah.
And so I had been using that, and I had lost. I got up to like 38 pounds lost. I was approaching 40. And I was like, all right, like, yeah, still some to go, but I also don't want to come out of pocket for it right now.
So you burn through your...
I didn't burn it to zero, but I burned through quite a bit of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll stop and with what we're doing and where we're going, I'll definitely have the opportunity to go to the gym and like be a little more active and, actually do some of the things that that we used to do. So, that I'll be working into some of that. So
Sure you will. You're going to be fat again.
Tubby. Yeah, I'm sure I will. If I'm ever not sick again,
Yeah. That's the other thing about being sick. You never, you could tell how big Monty's shirt is on him when he's adjusting the blinds. You do not notice it while he is sitting. Dude, I don't.
Yeah, you can't see it while he's sitting. But
I don't have clothes that fit me.
Yeah.
It has been. Look, I'm thrilled to have lost the weight that I've lost 90 pounds essentially.
Yeah.
And it's great, but it has been so expensive. It's been ridiculously expensive. So
yeah,
I'm not thrilled with it. All right, let's get a couple more on Sankey. Sankey leads the way with integrity and conviction to save the sport. And everyone hates him for it. Petiti is just looking for a quick buck at the expense of integrity and tradition. I think Greg Sankey is in a completely different space with his membership than Tony Petiti is. Tony Petiti has no, I'm not going to say respect, but he carries no authority.
There's no expectation of Tony Petiti the way there is of Greg.
Yeah, I think Greg Sankey is just, he's been in the position a lot longer. He has generated so much money and so much success for his membership. They're going to do what he tells them to do. He has an enormous amount of leverage. I'm telling you, it is what it is, right? The Big Ten basically lawless as a conference with everything their schools have done. Truth.
Yeah, I just think it's rich for the Big Ten to ever speak on other conferences and how they operate with everything that's gone down in the Big Ten, dude.
Ryan Duffy apologizing for Texas Tech. The fine is owed by Sorsby, not Tech, right? But one of the things that we're hearing now is there has to be contract law has to be followed. Technically, if Brendan Sorsby did this in an employment agreement, let's say, no, I am not at all saying college football athletes should be employees. I think that is the wrong answer. But if you were leaving one employer to go to another employer and you didn't pay the exit fee or what have you, you should, if you disclose that or if it's known to the new employer, which it was in this case, That new employer shouldn't be able to hire you.
Yeah.
And one of the rules that they want in college football is, hey, if you're going to transfer and there's an exit fee, you can't compete until the previous agreement is satisfied.
Right.
And that's exactly how it should be. Texas Tech has a responsibility to Cincinnati not to allow Brendan Sorsby to compete at their university or enroll or take a dump in their bathroom before he has satisfied his obligation financially and otherwise to Cincinnati. It's as simple as that. But will Texas Tech ever do that? They won't. They won't.
It sounds corny. I even admit that. But there is no honor amongst thieves, right? There's no honor amongst schemers. And that's what we're seeing play out in college football.
Yeah. Greg Sankey is the embodiment of long-term visionary leadership, while his counterpart in the Big Ten is, well, not that. Exactly right. It is. Yeah. I wish that we had what I will continue to say and what I continue to want is a consistent set of rules across college football that mirror the NFL's rules. You would never at the NFL level have a Sorsby situation. You would never, if an NFL player admitted to gambling on NFL football and on his own team, done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. And as far as the buyout, you don't have that taking place because it's just it's just not how it works. I mean, the closest thing you have
contracts are collectively bargained.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing you have to that would be, training camp holdouts, but even that is a different choice. Even that is like a different set of, chess pieces, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not trying to be, altruistic. Everything's great in the SEC, because it's not. But what I'm telling you is Greg Sankey's doing a better job than just about everybody else in college sports. He would even have hit the like button on this show already. You haven't. We've had almost 1,000 views and we only have 31 likes. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. It makes a big difference for us. The Big Ten, is the official league of perverts. Well, I mean, if you think about the scandals in the Big Ten,
they're endless,
dude.
Endless.
It is wild to me. It is absolutely wild to me. As is Lane Kiffin. I love when Lane Kiffin talks. Then I go Google search pictures of his girlfriend.
Well,
Lane Kiffin.
Google.
Do you like Lane Kiffin, Jake?
Yeah.
No,
I don't
no,
mind.
I hate him. He's a cock.
I think I don't mind Lane Kiffin. I think he's one of the best head coaches we have in college football. I do.
He's no Dan Lanning.
He's better than Dan. He's better than Dan right now. He is. Yeah.
Wow.
What? I mean, that's not.
Did that just happen on this show?
Yeah, I haven't changed on that.
Are you and Dan on the outs? Did you guys break up, or like what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, he got me sick. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I can't have that. I think that Lane. I think that Lane is the ultimate blow torture of college football. When dude talks, stuff happens. So like when Bro talked to Vanity Fair, everybody and their mom read the article and reacted poorly to that.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
Yeah. When dude was on the tarmac leaving Ole Miss, everybody watched Marty interview him. So like whether you like this guy or not is basically irrelevant. You're going to watch, and you do watch. We know that. The numbers say that. So, I don't dislike Lane. I think he does a good job, but I do think he causes drama for himself that is unnecessary. But I do think the Ole Miss situation on its own was a targeted thing by Lane. I don't think that was, Lane just woke up and knew he was doing Vanity Fair and just happened to speak on segregation in the South. You don't just roll out with that, dude.
What? Why? That's not at all odd. But to the credit of the SEC media, who actually asked questions, here's Lane Kiffin talking about why he chose LSU over Florida.
Lane, there was a lot of connections to Florida when they were pursuing you on family, proximity when growing up a little bit. What ultimately kind of did you like better about it? Why did you not choose to go to Florida?
Well, I mean, that's a hard question. I mean, a lot goes into decisions. They got a great program, and it really was not about that. Really was about LSU and the belief I had in what we could do at LSU and just how it fit and the timing of everything. And so it really wasn't about any other program. I said the other day to somebody, two things can be right at the same time. They both can be true. You can have had a wonderful experience, and everything you said about those 6 years where, you needed Oxford and Ole Miss more than they needed you. And that can totally be true.
I mean,
Program.
did he handle the exit gracefully? Certainly not. Could he have handled the exit better? Certainly he could have. But I just don't. I don't know why this is even controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think what he said there is on its own is controversial, but I do think that Lane's body of work is what causes controversy. I think that Lane, Lane goes to Ole Miss, does a job, gets them to where they need to go, and I agree with Lane that if he had coached that game, they win that ball game. I do agree with that 100%. And it's unfortunate that Ole Miss didn't want him to coach that game. And I agree there's a conversation about whether they should have allowed him to do that or not. If I'm Ole Miss, and I'm a big believer in this, if you're Ole Miss or you're anybody who has what I would call a tier 1 level head coach who's leaving, why would you not let him finish the job? Let him, he's leaving anyway.
Let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook, dude. Let them finish the job, right? If Trinidad Chambliss had won a national championship, do you really think he wouldn't have gone to the draft? You really think you would have dealt with all that if you're Ole Miss? So I personally, I disagree with how Ole Miss handled it and kicking him to the curb. But, I think, again, Lane is the essence of college football coach who's younger, who plays the game, understands the media narratives, understands how to navigate it, and he puts on a master class. Now, I'm not saying you got to like the guy, but he's a hell of a football coach, man. There's no question about it.
And then there's poor John Summerall, who Jake he's courting John. Because now obviously Jake and Dan Lanning are on the outs. I think that's very clear. John Summerall is living in Lane Kiffin's shadow. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And you listen to this answer right here from Summerall, and you're going to figure out pretty quick that LSU and Florida are not going to like each other.
I would have stayed at Tulane and not taken any other job. I was not going to leave a team playing for a championship to go coach another team. That's not in my DNA. I ain't built like that. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'm not. That's not a shot at anybody. Honestly, it's not. So if Florida or any other school that wanted to offer me their head coaching job was going to tell me the terms they needed it to be on, the answer for me was I can't take the job. Sorry. I just can't do it. Because those kids had given me just too much. And it just was, I don't know, it wouldn't have been fair. Now, I went into my team meeting at Tulane when I let them know I was leaving. And I said, hey, do y'all want me to coach in the game or no? Like, hell yeah, you're our coach. So I was like, all right, I'll coach. But if they told me no, I would have gotten out. But they all were like, yeah, we didn't come this far individually. Like, let's finish this thing.
Okay, first of all,
I mean, I'm not talking to anybody about anybody else or taking a shot at anybody. I mean, look at this. Look at this cockneck. I would never do that. I mean, Lane's a dick, but I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, what kind of douche leaves their team early?
And by the way, he goes from I just wouldn't have done that to, well, I asked my players if they wanted me to stay, and if they just said no, I'd have left. So you'd have left or not, or maybe, but not only, if there had been if the Pythagorean theorem had worked out, then you could have left, but it's the vernal equinox. So you stayed. Is that what I'm to understand?
The fucking vernal equinox.
Yeah. What kind of answer is, well, if the players had told me to go, I'm not the kind of guy who would leave, but if the players had told me to leave, I'd have left, and Lane's a dick. Okay. That seems perfect. What? Did you guys hear that double talk out of Jake's favorite coach, John Sumrall? Do you agree with that or no?
Well, I do agree that it's definitely playing both sides of the fence, 100%. I think that John, first I'm going to say I think he's going to do a really good job. I like him overall. I think he's doing a really good job. He's handling the offseason well. They got to win ball games. I hope he overachieves and we don't have to talk about 4-win seasons. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that John is the guy that will be a red ass with the media when they do lose more than he would like. And I think you're seeing shades of that in this clip because, the idea that he goes, well, I never would have left. I run a tight ship. I would never do that. But hey, I'm not taking shots at anybody. Honestly, that's just for me. I'm not taking shots at anybody. Well, John, you're taking shots at Lane, dude. They're calling him Steve Spurrier Jr. and they didn't hire him and they hired you. And now you're saying that you wouldn't have done what he did. But you're not taking shots at him. And that's like the guy that says, listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but here, let me be an asshole. No lies detected, but here, here's the BS. So I don't mind John at all. He's obviously got a lot of proving to do, but
I don't mind John at all. Bro, you have Diddy partied this guy since he took the job. What do you mean that you don't mind?
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
That's
Pardon me.
Anyway. I don't mind John Sumrall. Okay. Now I've heard it all. Lane Kiffin is a great college football. It's great for college. I could read once in a while.
Monty.
Lane Kiffin is great for college football. Imagine having a bunch of robot for head coaches like 99% of the NBA. Sark triggered me, but I love him speaking truth about tech in the SEC. I would agree. Welcome to the nightmare. Jake just put the Lane train over Lanning official on the record right here on YouTube. It's on the record.
OTR, dude. OTR, bro.
OTR, baby.
Yeah.
Mr. Green. Hello. You want him on that sideline? You need him on that sideline.
You want me on that sideline. You need me on the headset.
You're ridiculous. Lane causes a lot of brake checks and rubbernecking. Yes, he does.
Well, that's why he's doing interviews on the tarmac, bro.
A massive Oak State fan says, I think Lane chose LSU over Florida because the LSU had more recent success than Florida.
Okay, bro.
No.
Let me here. Hold on. Let me pull the Sumrall take. Hey, no shots at anyone. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But in this program, you don't take LSU over Florida based on recent success because LSU hasn't had recent success under Mr. Family Man and his khakis. Okay. That's not why you went to LSU. He went to Baton Rouge because he knows for a fact he can go out and peddle his scheme and recruit how he wants to.
Fact.
And they're not going to step in the way, which I say more power to you. You got to the perfect job in college football for you, man. You're built for that thing. Go and do it.
Bud.
So this has nothing to do with recent success or Pervin and his success at Florida. This has nothing to do with, hey, dude, I think I'll do a better job at LSU. And most people agree that LSU is the most prolific job in college football. So I can't really blame the guy.
Yeah. Sounds like Jake is planning to break up with Dan and is now in search of a new school. I am sure a new landing spot will be found sooner or later. Okay. Summerall can't bring his Glock to California anymore.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He could bring a Walther, or actually, since he is in the SEC, he can just get a SIG since their logos are similar. There you go.
Right.
Equinox. That's the way to go. The stars all aligned so Summerall could finish out at Tulane. They did, very much so.
Yeah, but okay, but let's not say that and just ignore the fact that the stars could have aligned in Ole Miss land, right? Like they could have had that take place.
Jake, reparations.
Yeah,
Dude.
I know. There's a bunch of,
Grandma.
little Timmy's grandparents over here. Can't have him going to Oxford because of, certain geopolitical narratives.
Yeah. Jake likes Summerall because he likes saying his name. That should be 3 syllables, but it's just 2.
Yeah, it's not Summerall, it's Summerall.
Did he tell you that last night while you were cuddling?
Brother.
Matt Muldoon, I know this douche from Baton Rouge, but I'm not taking a shot at anyone.
Yeah, hey, look at this a-hole over here in Baton Rouge. I'd never do what he did, but I stayed. I stood on business.
What a dick.
Could have stayed at Tulane and not taken any other job. I was
job. I love the way he said, I'd have stayed at Tulane and not taken any other job.
Could have stayed at Tulane and not taken any other job. I was not going to leave a team playing for a championship to go coach another team. That's not in my DNA. I ain't built like that. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'm not. That's not a shot at anybody. Honestly, it's not.
Yeah.
So if Florida or any other school that wanted to offer me their head coaching job was going to tell me the terms they needed it to be on, the answer for me was I can't take the job. Sorry. I just couldn't do it. Because those kids had given me just too much.
Neck.
And it just was, I don't know, it wouldn't have been fair. Now, I went into my team meeting at Tulane when I let them know I was leaving. And I said, hey, do y'all want me to coach in the game or no?
No, get your ass out of here.
So I was like, all right, I'll coach. But if they told me no, I would have gotten out. But they all were like, yeah, we didn't come this far individually. Like, let's finish this thing.
And then because you're a G5, you got blown out. But that's not really the point.
Ball didn't go in the hoop.
Man, gotta have G5s in there, man. Hey, Monty.
Yeah, whatever.
Gotta have them in there.
Whatever, dude.
He's going to be fun, I think. He's going to be fun. Cockneck is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And that's not really who Summerall is. He's more of the tackle high school football players in the tunnel guy.
Yeah.
Ken Maynor, Florida is at its best when it's red ass and arrogant. Spurrier, Meyer, Summerall.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good there. I do. I really do.
Jimmy Otts in translation, Lane's an a-hole. I believe that's exactly what I wouldn't have taken. That's not in my DNA. Directly translates in Latin, I believe, to Lane Kiffin, you dick.
Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't have done what Lane did, but here's what I did. Come on, bro. We see right through it.
Family, exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Exactly right.
Family.
Hey, look, Angry Phil Venzer. It's amazing that you can go from getting fired on the tarmac to coaching an iconic program. Yes, you can. Ken Maynor. Summerall looks like he will flex on somebody. Yeah. I like the guy. I still think he's a greite hire in a really good soundbite. And I'll be interested to see how and when he begins
soundbiting.
He better win.
Yeah.
He better win. Welcome to the nightmare. The fact you have to say that isn't a shot at anyone is a total shot at everyone. That's right.
Yeah, and you know what I love too? Like, let's say that the media spun that as he took a shot at Lane. The next time he talked to the media, he'd be like, you guys spun that way out of context. I never took a shot. You guys are this is fake news media. It's like, come on, dude. Come on.
Bro. Yeah.
We know what you did.
Summerall's agent says just keep the answers short and don't ramble on and get yourself in trouble. Exactly.
Hey, I'm not taking a shot at anyone, but here's a shot at someone. Come on.
Mike Smith, LOL. Some will not get the Chuck Cooper reference. Lane is biggest dickus. Okay. Okay. Have you seen The Godfather yet, Jake?
You got anything to say? Quite frankly, fuck you.
Did you? Do you have
No.
any plans? Do you have any road trips coming up, or you can Netflix it, or do you have any,
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah,
You know.
maybe so. It's not, I mean, that's not a film that I want to watch on a road trip, That's a film that I needed, to be watching in the comfort of my own home.
Do you think you will ever see The Godfather in
At
your
some
lifetime?
point, yes. Yes,
No,
I
you
will.
won't.
Yes, I
No,
will.
you won't.
Yes, I
You
will.
won't. You won't.
Okay. Well,
You won't.
F around and find out.
It's not in your DNA.
well,
Oak State James, Florida hasn't won 10 games in 7 seasons. WTF do you mean recent success? I think 50 million NIL roster had a little bit more to do with it. I would agree. Rock and Rant, hello. Just waking up and jumping in. Celine Kiffin has another hypothetical win against Miami, yet somehow when he coached against Georgia, he lost, but Golding didn't. This is why people despise him.
yeah, whatever, bro. Maybe so.
Maybe so. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Just catching up on the show. So Lane Kiffin claiming a hypothetical win against Miami if he coached, yet somehow, they'd have beat Miami if.
Yeah.
Pete Golding was too busy tampering with. Never mind. Tom Dean, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just gifted. I say that
exactly,
every day.
Tom. See, that's a great way to put it, dude. It's just a God-given gift.
Yeah.
Tampering 101.
I'm not sure right now that it's possible to hate somebody more than I hate Pete Golding.
It's really just that simple.
And I generally like visored up coaches. I'm a fan of the visor. I hate Pete Golding.
Are you really? I didn't know you were a visor guy.
I don't hate the visor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lane wears a visor.
But you're not a visor guy on the course, though. That's not your vibe on the course. You don't wear visors when you golf. You just like head coaches in visors.
Dude, I don't have enough hair to wear a visor.
Now, I will say the white pants you rolled out on that short you put out was incredible. I mean, that was nice.
Well,
did the white pants, do you like wearing white pants now when you golf? What was the vibe?
Really easily.
Yeah.
They get dirty but you know what? If you're a golf pant guy, will it on Amazon. They're $35, I think.
Yeah.
And bro, trust me, I have a dozen pair of Travis Matthew pants, Lululemon pants. The Willett sports pants are just as nice. And I'm a big fan of the white. See what he did here. Lane is nuts.
Lane is nuts coming from Big Sac State, James. Nice take, dude. Well done.
Sack.
We see what you did there.
LSU won a natty in 2019. They did?
Bro, you understand that
Burrowhead Stadium?
there's this little thing called the pandemic that happened between today and 2019.
It's just what I love is guys like James will be like, a big story will break. And James will get in the comment section and be like, oh my God, did you guys hear?
The coronavirus.
Jake and Dan Lanning broke up. And it's like on ESPN. Did you guys hear? James will roll in here like next Thursday and be like, did you guys hear about Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini?
Sometimes I think I just say shit. Sample what comes out of my mouth.
They had an affair.
What? Monty, did you see the boat dock pictures of Rossini and Vrabel together? She was pregnant as hell.
It's fine. James, I love you, dude. You're the best. Ken Maynor. Gators will stomp Old Piss in the swamp. I believe you meant Old Miss.
Oh, my bad. Typo, dude. Sorry.
Could have happened to anybody. That's going to be a hornet's nest. I really hope that the swamp is back. Because when the swamp is lit.
When Florida's good, it's better for college football. No question about it. No question about it, dude.
Yeah, and it should have been when Dan Mullen and his handsy wife were at Florida. They should have won.
Dude, she was handsy as hell, bro. Bro.
Listen. Middle-aged, average-looking woman who likes to touch football players who lift. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's fine. The white pants would last one hole with where I hit the ball.
Yeah.
I'm driving the ball pretty well right now. So, again,
ain't no reset.
They're sitting right here.
Yeah.
They're sitting right here. I'm telling you. I need to put my golf game together. Dude, I was watching video. My short game is ass right now.
Timothy.
I don't know how. I don't want to talk about it. I haven't practiced enough. I'm only going to the range like once a week right now. Like, just got so much going on. Trying to get a real estate license. Why am I doing this? Do you ever do something you're like, oh, I can do that? Oh, yeah. And then you actually go and do it, and you're like, dude, WTF were you thinking here?
The victory has already been won.
Like, what are you doing? And then you go play golf, and it's like, okay, now on the short game, I've got the club head behind my hands. Yeah, that'll work out fine, bro. I needed to hit it, and I hit flop shots very well. So I drove a ball, and it landed in the middle of the green, spun off the green, rolled back. Right? It was a par 3. It was an uphill green. I needed to hit a 20-yard flop shot. And the ball was sitting up in the rough. I mean, Jesus was like, here, Monty, let me improve your life for you. Right? Because Jesus is my caddy.
Brother.
Anyway, the point is, I needed to hit a 20-yard flop shot that went 80 yards. Like,
That's not going to take place here.
bye.
Bro.
How? And just like that, the wedges are.
And it's gone.
Yet the irons were pretty good. The driver's been elite.
We keeping a buck right now. We ass.
Can I make a putt? No. Of course you're going to blast that thing 7 yards past the hole. You know, it's fine. Brandon Butler, when you focus on your driver, your irons go to hell. Hard to shift swing modality on the fly. I feel like I've learned a little bit. I have different swing feels now, which has really helped me hit my irons better lately. It's unthinkable. It is unthinkable that my short game is. I had probably 3-4 really good short game shots the other day. I had an eagle putt from 10 feet on a par 5, missed it. Hey, birdie's great. Eagle would have been better. I wound up shooting an 82, I think. Should have shot like a 75. Couldn't make a putt.
Yeah.
Could not. For the life of me. And why am I missing putts? Because they're all like 15 feet. Because my short game, and I'm watching the video. Not that you guys give a rat's ass about this. When you have like a 60-degree wedge in your hand, the club head can never go behind your hands.
Right.
It is the basic of basic tenets in chipping. That club head needs to go back straight or out a little bit, but it can never go behind you.
Yeah, I can't bring it too far inside.
I'm looking at the video and I'm like, why did that ball? I legitimately hit a 320-yard drive. I think I had 50-something yards in, easy 60-degree. Like, it has not landed yet. Let me get me started. God
I'll see
damn
you
it.
in Valhalla.
Just swing the V. That's what your mom asked me to do.
Oh.
Length and girth.
Yeah, it's fine. James, did you hear the Big Ten wants 24 teams in the CFP?
What?
You know. Instead of just picking up the wings, Vrabel went into the Magic City and Rossini got him. That's right. I cannot believe that he's been smashing that chick for like a decade.
Sucking a ding dong.
Incredible. For me, it's going from trying to line drive a straight driver shot on the fairway, then trying to rainbow the angle of my club face. It's torture, bro. So with my driver swing, Gold Mountain is a great course. Gold Mountain in Bremerton, great course. I played the Cascade, great course. There's a lot of driver shots that need to be cuts where they go up to the left and turn right. That is my natural driver swing. It fits me perfectly. I think there's only 2 driver shots that needed to be draws or straight. Great. So I had been hitting perfect cuts. Boom, boom, boom. So there's one fairway where you need to hit a cut. It's about a 10-yard cut. No problem. I do that all day long.
What's the big deal?
It's only like 210 to the end of the fairway. If you hit a cut, you can hit it like 400 yards. Perfect. Straight as an arrow. Bye. Like straight as an arrow. I can't.
Yeah, you're not the guy that hits iron off the tee when it's you always like to cut the corner.
And because I do it well. Rock and rant. I don't like Pete Golding, to be clear, but the fact is he beat Georgia and Lane didn't this past season, which is why Lane's comment on he would have beat Miami was so ridiculous. Dude, I get it. I get it. Lane would have beat Miami in that game. There was some really bad play calling and execution.
Yeah.
So, hey, can we put one final nail in this Sorsby conversation? Get in the comment section right now after you hit the like button. The update on Brendan Sorsby, who still owes $1 million to Cincinnati, I believe. Brendan Sorsby had his eligibility application declined by the NCAA. He's going to court. Texas Tech put out a statement saying they fully support him. He went to rehab, and they are watching over him and monitoring him, which is an inference to we won't allow him to gamble. Should Brendan Sorsby be eligible this coming season? Get in the comment section. Jake, should he be eligible this season?
No, I mean, there's just no reason for him to ever play again. I mean, I think the very fact that we're asking that question is ridiculous unto itself. I mean, we know what he did. He admitted to what he did. It's all documented. 3 different universities knew what he was doing, in my opinion. And yet here we are having a conversation about whether he'll play again or not. And I just think it's disrespectful to the whole process. And I would even double down on that and go as far as to say that whoever's mentoring this kid or giving this kid advice is doing a really poor job. There's just he should be taking the high road as best he can, and he should be owning it and wearing it, and then moving on to the supplemental. That's what it should be. So under no circumstance should he be eligible.
Yeah, I don't. He should not absolutely he should not be playing. I don't even know how this is a conversation. And it is, in my opinion, the plain and simply best answer for why we need a new entity. We need new rules. We need new governance. The fact that this cat is going to sue to get his eligibility back is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this is one of those cases that would drive me away from Texas Tech. All of their games should be invalidated. If he ever plays for Texas Tech, they should automatically be invalidated. He should never, ever put on a college football uniform again.
Right.
Like, you want to go for Halloween, shouldn't even be able to dress up for Halloween. I feel that strongly about it. You broke the only rule that you couldn't break. And he doesn't seem to care about that. And nobody seems to care about that.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be that big a deal.
Nobody seems to care about that. The answer is easy. It's clearly no. Kaner and Monty looking good. Good job on losing weight. Still trying. Some of us don't quit. Okay.
Well, that was a reference towards me. Okay. You weren't taking a shot at anybody, though.
I wasn't taking a shot at anybody.
We don't take any shit.
Chuck says at least he's not strung out on Rossini like Vrabel is.
Well,
I've heard that's a highly addictive substance. But
yeah, I'd rather be in the Rossini predicament than the gambling predicament.
No, he should not be eligible. And the new Baylor judge will put that to bed. We'll find out. Randy Riding, hello. Good to see you, sir. Host St. George is cool enough for you. He shouldn't play another down of college ball. Totally agree. Right, but in a hypothetical, Miami also had, are you obsessing today?
Yes.
Miami also had a lot of mistakes. Well, stupid penalties, for sure. You don't know what happens in another hypothetical game, dude. If they would have, we could go back. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm with you. No, he should not be. I agree. Delaric, hello. No, he should not be eligible, but I would not be surprised if he ends up playing. Neither would I. Rock and rant. I heard Brendan Sorsby would have beat Old Miss too. I heard that too. Oh, wait, that's not what he said. I heard Brendan Sorsby's laying odds that his appeal gets denied.
Yeah, he's probably on call sheet or probably market, you know.
Wow. Straight to Arena League for him. Well, the supplemental draft's in 3 weeks. You know, the deadline anyway. Sorsby should be nowhere near a college football program or any college sport at all. I agree. Angry Phil. I would make him play in the CFL, not the NFL. CFL pays good money, dude.
Better than no money.
Better than no money. And Buddy's in debt. Jake's current status of medicine head deflects Monty's pulling a Sumrall by calling him a loser without saying he's a loser.
The coronavirus.
Jake, are you a loser?
Loser.
You know, stop. Okay.
What's happening?
Marcus says he wants to make you feel better.
No, God, here we go.
Her name's Patty. She'll be there in 15 minutes. That's not what he said. My son did his first soft wash job yesterday and got tipped 20%.
Nice, dude.
He also got the neighbor to get an estimate, which the neighbor accepted for Friday morning. If he gets that job and they fully pay, it pays off the power washer and new accessories.
Telling you.
Okay. He walked away from, and you'll have to remind me exactly what he did. So Marcus's son, who I think just graduated, bought a power washer and a bunch of accessories and printed flyers and put them on a bunch of people's doors, and then got a job out of it for a garage roof. What did he say? A garage roof, a patio, and some pavers. And he walked away with $600 from that gig. And now the neighbor accepted an estimate for, and let me make sure I read this right. And he is explaining. It's a $700 job. It is to blow out all of their gutters and soft wash the grandma's. What's a grandma's hut? Is that like an ADU?
ADU, yeah.
The grandma's hut at the back of the property.
Yeah, ADU.
Wow. So he'd already be profitable after just 2 jobs.
Yes.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Make sure you set tax money aside. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, he also noted that the hose was was more expensive than the unit itself, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you got to have a long hose.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep.
Good for you, man. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, if you're 18, 19, 20, summers are not for hanging out, dude. Go make money. Go put yourself in the positive. Sorsby aside, can we not now rail on LSU for having a dude on their basketball roster who was traded in the NBA this year?
Yes.
That's what happens when you hire a scumbag to be your basketball coach, which I believe LSU did. He can join the great Max Duggan in the CFL.
Right. Yeah.
Max Duggan. Yeah. Now we got to get rid of the buffer style attachment to scrub the driveway with the power washing. Oh, he bought the brush. There's the brush, the spinner. I can't, it just went right out of my head. The silver thing that.
Yeah. We know what you're talking about.
I can't, anyway. All right. John Famlor, I'm baffled what the SEC wants if it regulated just itself and no one else had a say. It wants to stop paying lawyers. It wants to put all this nonsense behind them. That's what it wants. Texas Tech will pay the money to get him back on the team, start the Super League, and he is playing. Well, you could do that. Sorsby's camp has also been told even if he gets picked up in the supplemental draft, he's going to be suspended for a year. I don't know about that. There's a lot of debate about that. There is no debate that Urban Meyer and Mike Vrabel are cut from the same cloth. Just, they were both at the bar fondling their chicks. Do you like Urban Meyer, Jake? You're not on the record for liking her.
Not particularly. I think it's rich that Urban did what he did with the Jags and then thought he could sue his way back to getting his money after they fired him.
What is this, college football?
Yeah. And now wants to talk, like in this clip, you're going to hear him bag on Edo and then say it's an amazing hire. And I just think it's funny that dudes are like, oh, well, again, let me summer all this thing, not to take a shot at anybody, but bro is this, but it's also a great hire. Like, I just want people to pick a side of the fence and be on that side of the fence.
Urban Meyer on the Triple Option podcast.
I use a term often, certified nut job is what he is. I mean, rips his shirt off but I'll tell you what, he was arguably the best defensive line coach in the game. And then he was one of the great recruiters for many, many years. I recruited against him, coached against him. So this is a no-brainer.
Is it a no-brainer to hire him? Yes. It's LSU, it's Edo, it's the accent, it's everything. I think it's absolutely a no-brainer because I don't think he's going to have a huge role. I honestly don't think that Ed Orgeron is going to have some day-to-day impact on this football team. I think he's a great ambassador. And you know what all this is? You know why you hire Ed Orgeron to work with Lane Kiffin at LSU? So he doesn't talk about family in a fake Southern accent. That's why you hire family. That's why you hire Ed Orgeron, because he is a Southern dude. He gets the community. People there love him still. He is beloved for the championship and all of it. It's a great hire. It's not a good hire. It's not just a hire. It's a great hire. Having Ed Orgeron on staff with Lane Kiffin is absolutely the right thing to do. Ed Orgeron back in college football, absolutely the right thing to do. And Urban Meyer should never, ever coach another college football game. Does that cover it?
I guess. I mean, yeah, it's a good hire. It's also a powder keg waiting to happen. You know, you have one mistake with that and all of a sudden now we got drama. So I think that they got to make sure they keep a tight leash on him. But if he can stay out of trouble, it's a good hire.
But what is the worst case scenario with Edo?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Like we've seen what he's done. We've seen him bring his girlfriend or whatever on the field and do all that nonsense. Like, I don't know. Like, he's not a bad guy, but he's also not like, he's not the guy that I want leading my team. Not that he's doing that for LSU, but like there's that he falls somewhere in the middle.
Just don't think here's
the problem with the you don't think he's going to have an impact thing. Edo's personality is too charismatic. So when you bring him in the building, he's going to have an impact. And you hiring
he's going to fire a kid up. He might be talking to a kid about defensive line because he is an elite defensive line coach.
He is. He
is an elite educator. I have no concerns about him being like, well, hey, I'm LSU's bag man. Here's an envelope. We'll see you. And we'll see you. All right. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe not.
You're worried about like recruiting violations?
I'm
or
just
you think
worried about violations in general, dude. I just think that the guy, I'm not saying as a coach he's great. I'm not really even speaking on that part of it. I just know that in college football right now, there are a million different ways to get yourself in trouble. And he is a people person. He loves talking to people. He loves being in the middle of it and mixing it up. So I just think that Lane's got to be cognizant of that and make sure he keeps him in a good spot. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I guess I'm just not that concerned about it. I think it's fun. You hate fun, which I guess on some level I understand.
Right.
But I love it. I absolutely love it. I think when Ed Orgeron's back in college football, everybody hits the like button. Right? Like everybody on the Monty show hits the like button because Ed Orgeron's back in college football.
Right.
He gives Lane the ability to coach offense and not worry about defense lacking. I don't even know that he'll have that much impact. What do you envision his role being?
I envision his role being a special assistant of sorts to Lane. I think Lane will use him how he sees fit. Obviously a lot on defense, of course. I think he'll speak to the team a lot. I think that he'll be in a ton of meetings. I think that you want his opinion on things. Edo's obviously won national championships and stuff. And I think you obviously want his perspective. And so that's what I think it is. I don't think you're going to label him with like a defensive line coach label or something like that. I just think he's another salary on the P&L, and you're going to use him in the day-to-day to give you an educated, veteran, seasoned example or opinion of what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. He's going to everything from looking at a play on film to player behavior to schemes to anything. He's done it. He's been where you want to go. So you're going to lean on his experience. That's why you bring Edo in. That's why.
Yeah. I just hope it's not. God, I hope you never get the opportunity to say, "No, I told you so." Edo should put his shirt back on. Like, that would be hugely disappointing if there was a recruiting violation or
whatever it might be. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I do think he just kind of he had too much fun, man. And I think that
he had
too
much fun.
You can't be bringing your girlfriend onto the field during warm-ups and doing all these different things. That's just not how it should be.
Okay. He had too much fun. Okay. I'm not against Edo. I don't hate Ed Orgeron like you do.
Right.
He could be a good ambassador for boosters.
That as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Ed speaks Cajun Creole. Yes, he does. Love that dude. Brandon Butler. Enjoy the baseball this year because next year it's going to be a meltdown with the CBA because the owners are not unified. Yeah. I'm not enjoying baseball at all right now. The Cubs are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
They're not good.
Awful.
We keeping a book right now. We ass.
Scout hot yoga talent. Ryan Duffy. Penn State fans, Sandusky had too much fun.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Okay, let's move to a better topic. What's wrong, Jake? Was that a sigh of discontentment?
Bro.
What happened? What's the matter?
Let's talk about this. This will go over really well. Yeah, this will go over real well.
Yosemite. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
So now you don't want to talk about this.
We can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it. I'm just not trying to have whatever this is. I'm just not trying to have some government conversation, dude. I'm just not.
Okay, where do you come down? I'm not having a government. I'm talking UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah,
UFC
the Ultimate
250.
Fighter.
Live
Run
on
by
the
bald guy.
Live on the lawn at the White House, UFC 250. Everybody, Monty show live.
Yeah.
What do you make of this visual?
I'm not a huge fan of this, dude. I think I'm going to speak in generalities. You guys can make of it what you want. I'm never going to be in favor of monetizing the White House in any form or fashion. I think the idea that you have a spectacle on the front lawn or whatever is kind of ridiculous. And I just don't like where we're at as far as what the White House stands for. And that's what I'll say about it. I think that there's a reason that presidents go to events, they don't host them in this sense, right? Like you don't, in my opinion, this is just not how we should be doing things. But that's just me.
I am not a fan of this. I am not a fan of this. And I continue to struggle with this. And I'm not, how do I describe that? I don't know why I'm not a fan of this. I don't know. I don't know why I hate this, but man, I hate this. I don't necessarily think it's bad to have an event like this at the White House. This is not it. This is not it. If you want to do something, I don't know what it would be. This just doesn't feel like the right fit.
Yeah, I mean, I just think what's hard is that I feel like it's only happening because of who knows who and people trying to get money and do these different things. And that's what I miss about prior administrations, both, on both sides of the aisle.
Oh boy,
there was a prestige about it. And I just feel like we don't have that right now. And again, I'm not interested in discussing different topics inside of that landscape, but I just feel like you look at this building right now and it's not like, hey, yeah, like that's the White House, bro. There's a certain panache, a certain prestige, a certain way we do things. And I just miss that. That's what I'll say.
Well, Buddy legitimately wanted this ballroom to host Dancing with the Stars. That hasn't worked out so far. Is this a substitute? Nah, I don't think this is necessarily a substitute, but I don't know. I hate the way this looks. I hate the way that it's setting up. I just don't love the idea that the UFC is going to have an event on the south lawn of the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
They will probably have concessions from McDonald's there because
Buddy
does like McDonald's.
Come get your Big Mac, right?
UFC at the White House is pathetic, disgusting, undignified, unnecessary. Could be. Yeah. Chuck says Dana White is always welcome at the White House. He is. They're very close friends. Very close friends. Mike Smith, Mountain. It's been a long time since we sang Mountain Mama on this. Jake, go ahead and sing it.
No, I'm good, dude. I'm gonna pass on that.
Why?
We're gonna pass on that.
West Virginia.
So I said, yeah.
The ballroom is a mess, and you have had attempted attacks on the POTUS. Yeah, did you guys see the video of Buddy in front of the White House getting lit up the other day? Like, what were you thinking? Monster truck rallies in front of the Lincoln Monument.
Right.
Teddy Roosevelt would have loved this. He would have, in all seriousness. Right? He would have loved it. Teddy Roosevelt actually did the boxing sparring and had eye damage as a result. I did not know that. Brandon Butler, when did we turn our government into bread and circuses? It is very similar to Gladiator, which I think that's a reference to. But, who is going to get the naming rights on the White House Stadium? Yeah, I don't know. People will defend literally anything. Yeah, they will. Yeah. Giggity, hello. Thank you for your service, my friend. Hope you are well. This is a classic example of a guy overcompensating for a lack of something. Okay. There was an article I sent to Jake the other day from the New York Magazine. And I don't know that you guys will find this interesting or not. Do you remember the article I sent you, Jake?
Vaguely, but retry it for me.
The big little penis panic is alive and well in American men. Men have an incredible anxiety over the size of their And, you know,
Was this do you have the numbers of the study, or like what are they referencing?
it is not necessarily a study. It's just a conversation. In the past 3 years, this author has talked to 5,000 men who admittedly have anxiety about the size of their
cock.
And he claims over 55% of the men that he studied have some level of anxiety about
his cock.
I don't have any anxiety about it. I embrace what it is. Tiny. You know,
I need a dick.
I embrace what it is.
Right.
Not big enough.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Do you have any anxiety about that, Jake? Do you have any anxiety about the size of your?
No, I you're never gonna see me in an F-350 diesel putting out black smoke, dude. That's not happening. I don't need to compensate or, you know, proclaim my greatness to the world. Like I'm more than happy with what I got working, and you know, frankly,
I'm more than happy with what I've got working.
Yeah, I think that dudes who have anxiety around that, you know, probably need to work on, you know, their relationship with themselves a little bit, man, because it's not just about, you know, again, what you got to work with. It's about what else you got to offer. So,
but okay, that's spoken like a guy who fits in a thimble. But my point is, why do we make such a big deal about this? Like, I feel like, and Mrs. Monty and I joke about this all the time, but I feel like as dudes, we make a big deal out of this. I feel like as dudes, we think about it, we talk about it, we joke about it. We make a big deal out of it.
Can you measure it?
Right? Like we joke about shoe size. Now, I'm a guy that wears a size 15 shoe. You know what they say? Big socks. But do you think we make too much out of it? I think we make way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, yeah, I think there's way too much made about it. I think that you know, I think bro culture makes too much about it. Like it's really genuinely not something that I think about in the day to day. It's not something I'm concerned with. It's not something that I spend almost any time on at all, ever. And I think that, you know, part of it is, you know, I'd be very curious to know, like, what's your relationship with your significant other like? You know, is that fractured? What's your, like, because I think a lot of that stuff plays into it. I think that the facade of, hey, like, you know, like I'm worried about that, like that to me is a side effect of other issues happening in your life. Like your relationship's not great. Oh, it must be this or it must be that or what, like, you know what I mean? Like I just think it's an easy like cop out excuse versus saying like, you know, this is maybe it's like the whole ED thing that we've seen just go through all the ads and all those companies.
Explosion.
Yeah. Like it's them preying on men's issues that are not caused by anything other than, hey, maybe you don't eat the way you should, or maybe you're not working out enough, or maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's more than that. I think as men, we face unique challenges, and performance sexually is one of them. And I think that men are incredibly I think a lot of men lack confidence. And I think it's because there's a lot of stress in the world right now.
There is.
Right. And I think our young people have so much access to pornography. We don't promote relationships and human interaction the way we used to.
Right.
I mean, it's just not part of a lot of people's day-to-day lives, frankly. You know, so I think it's bigger than, I think the lack of human interaction is crippling to men. I do. I think it erodes confidence. I think it is one of those things where when you don't, on a day-to-day basis, interact with other human beings because we're so isolated now. And it's why I'm a big fan of return to office. I think it's been very interesting. My wife works in an office every day. It's very interesting how energized she is about her work from working in an office.
Yeah.
And, working with people that are on your level, below your level, above your level, like there's an interesting reaction mentally. And my belief is, I think you have to find a way to build relationships in your lives. We're not meant to be isolated people, especially men.
No,
we are not meant to be isolated people. And when you are lonely or your relationships are dysfunctional, I think it takes a long-lasting, deep toll on your psyche. And I think all of these sexual performance issues, the inability to perform with a partner, the insecurity over the size of your is a big deal. And I think a lot of it is because we don't have day-to-day human interaction the way we used to.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's a big piece for sure. I think that the cell phone can be the great destroyer of people,
Yes,
men and women, but for this topic, men. I think that the cell phone is very profitable but very damaging. And I think that's the hard part, and so that's why I say I just think it's about what you're doing in the day-to-day. It's about how you take care of yourself and how you literally, I think our lives are entirely built on how you go about the day-to-day. If you can try to put one good day in front of the other, if your sole focus each day is, hey, like, how can I make today a good day? Like, how can I lay down in bed tonight and look back and feel like, yeah, today was a good day. Like, I did X, Y, and Z, and I feel good about what I did. That's going to help you in other areas of your life like this. And I think that we don't really look at it that way. We're just solely focused on, oh, well, this is a problem, that's a problem, this is a problem. Well, I got to put out all these fires. And I just more now than ever, I'm just a big believer in time and space, man. Things happen in time and in the space that they should happen. And sometimes you gotta realize that. And for issues like this, like, if you have issues like this, if you got confidence issues or performance issues, then you need to do something about it. Doing nothing about it is going to get you just that, nothing. Like,
100%.
You got to do something about it.
All right, let's wrap the show today ripping the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
This is I can't watch it anymore. I refuse to watch the rest of this series. Victor Wembanyama is a fraud, number one. He's not that guy yet. Number two, whatever this is with the NBA and the Oklahoma City Thunder, somebody help me understand it. Now, I understand I'm not a smart man, but I'm watching a game where it's not just SGA anymore. You go look at the Jared McCain highlights of the calls he's getting in his favor, and not like the sequence with Dylan Harper is disgusting, where he elbows Harper in the throat. Harper stumbles, so McCain goes by him and runs into the front court, then stops, sticks his ass out, falls to the floor, and they call a foul on Dylan Harper. Make it make sense, dude, because it does not make sense to me, and I think it's absolutely destroying the NBA because I'm not watching the rest of this series.
Yeah, I just don't understand what the NBA has to gain by pushing OKC forward. This is my biggest this is where I'm confused. So like, I understand that generally speaking with officiating in any sport, the home team is going to get an advantage of sorts, right? Like, you're going to get a couple more calls. Like, that's just a well-known thing in sports. But this is like a whole new level, right? To use Dabo's words, right? This is a whole other level of tampering. This is officials going out there and looking for every opportunity to blow the whistle for a team that's already a solid team. They're already a really good team. And I just don't understand what the NBA is doing with this. Like, why are you trying to push this team forward? We're not talking about the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks. We're not talking about big market team here. This is Oklahoma City. Like, this is why I often wonder when I get called the tinfoiler on the show for my takes on the NBA. I do genuinely wonder. And typically I'm not this guy, but like, what's going on between the commissioner and these teams? What's happening with officials and these teams? Because you can't tell me the Tony brothers of the world actually see these calls as fouls. I don't believe that, dude. I believe Tony Brothers is out there officiating the game, looking for any opportunity to blow the whistle against San Antonio. And I'm not a San Antonio fan. I've never been to San Antonio. I'm not a Wemby guy. I'm just looking at what I see on TV last night, and I'm like, bro, like, you're ruining the game. You're ruining the damn game. I don't get it.
SGA last night, Jake, scored 32 points. How many made shots do you think he had?
32 points, probably less than 10 makes.
7. And that's because he had 17 free throws. It's outrageous. He scores 32 points on 7 made shots. I said 7 made shots, and 2 of those made shots were 3-pointers. Let that sink in, how little offense he had to create. And again, when you look at the majority of his 8, I believe it was 8 fouls, I think 3 of the 8 fouls, he was not touched in any way physically. And this doesn't include the phantom stepped out of bounds call against San Antonio. 2 blatant goaltends against OKC that were not called. A ball off of Chet Holmgren that was called to Oklahoma City. And 3, not 1, not 2, 3 instances where San Antonio was waiting for a review and Tony Brothers refused to grant it. 3 straight times. Refused to grant it. On blatant, the one out of bounds on, I mean, it clearly hits Chet Holmgren and goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
And Tony Brothers will not allow the replay to be called. The review, the challenge to be called. Ignores it. And he's right here with San Antonio's coach. And San Antonio coach and Brothers just keeps going and won't grant him the challenge. It's fixed.
Yeah.
And I don't know for what benefit. Who's winning out of this?
Don't know, bro. Do not know. We'll know at some point. It will come out, but we won't know now.
I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it.
And it's really a shame. I hate that the NBA is in this place.
I don't know how you fix it. I really don't know how you fix it. I want to, and I don't understand. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know that there is fixing it,
and
man.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. The only way you fix it is by not watching. Don't watch, don't support them. That's the only way you can help fix it. That's it. So, I think that I again, NHL playoffs are better. That's where I'll be spending my time. NHL, MLB, and PGA Tour. That's where I'll be spending my time. 100%.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know. Ryan Duffy. What time is Jared Bednard fired today? Jesus Christ. Did you guys see that? Jared Bednard, the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, swept by Torts in the Golden Knights. I don't know how you bring him back. They won the President's Trophy. I believe they won the President's Trophy.
Yeah, that's pretty tough, dude.
I think everybody thought they were going to win the Stanley Cup. I did.
Yeah, that's an ass kicking.
And then you get swept by Vegas?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I think the biggest problem is they call 2 different styles of game, regular season versus playoffs. You got to make the season and the playoffs the same rule set. It shouldn't be subjective refereeing. You've got... why? I don't get it. I could at least understand it if you'd have made those calls for the Knicks, the Celtics, the Lakers, big stars. SGA is not a big star. And I don't even know that Big Daddy Magic watches this show anymore, but Victor Wembanyama ain't it.
Uh-huh.
Am I wrong about that?
No,
he's not ready.
Yeah.
He's not ready to be the guy.
No, I don't think you're wrong about it. I think that, I think that Victor is still finding his way. I think he's really good. I think he's contributing at an extremely high level, and they're going to be a problem for a long time. But it's not right now. It's not his league yet. It's SGA's league right now.
Yeah, this was an embarrassment last night. And the very fact that you are as deep as you are in OKC, and you still can't beat the Spurs without help. Because understand what this was. This was a 2-2 series. And you gave OKC every whistle, and they win it, and now they're up 3-2. It's a huge advantage. To be up 3-2 in a best of two.
Yeah. You're not beating them 2 times in a row.
No. Series is over.
And again, you want, at a minimum, they want 7 games, which is what they're going to get. Guarantee it.
I don't think you get, yeah. Not if it keeps being officiated like this. You think,
but it won't. They're going to go back to San Antonio. They're going to go back to San Antonio, right? I have that right there. Game 6 is in San Antonio, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And they'll win that game. And then they'll go back to OKC and they'll win game 7 there at home. That's how they'll do it.
But for man, again, your question of last night, what is the point of this?
Yeah, what are we doing? What does the NBA have to gain by doing this? Because
I'm a diehard NBA fan, and they have lost me. Pretty much altogether, they have lost me.
Yeah, I'll never understand it. And it's what Brandon Butler was saying earlier in the show, right? Like if you think about, Major League Baseball with a potential lockout looming. You've got the NBA being ass. This PGA Tour live thing continuing to burn on. It feels like the PGA Tour is kind of edged out live. They may get funding, they may not. But like, there's a lot of this going on right now where like leagues are trying to figure out what they're doing and like who's paying who and how we're going to format this and that. And so we're just in that time of year. And this is why I say, like, for those of you who've never done a show or are just a casual viewer, which is totally fine, there's that time of year every year where it's like basically from I would say like March to basically the football season, to where it's like this is what we have to talk about. And it's really tough because I would love to talk more NBA. I would love to. But I don't know what, like, I don't know. I can't imagine spending 20 minutes, talking about foul baiting or SGA's whistle or OKC's whistle now, I should say, because we've graduated. I can't, that doesn't seem productive. And that's what's difficult. So then it's like, all right, well, what is there really to talk about in Major League Baseball right now? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess the Dodgers, I guess, you could talk about the Yankees a little bit, I mean, yeah, sure. Cubs, but like there's not like a driving narrative right now that that's just such a big deal. I mean, the last thing that we had was Edwin Diaz cockfighting, and we never really even got to that. Like, but again, like if that's your biggest story in the league, where's the league at? So that's why I'm saying it's not a great. This offseason so far has been very slow, very, very slow.
I am telling you that sports is dying.
Yeah.
And it's the millennial and the Gen Zer that are directly responsible for it. Because it's just, there's not a passion in the fan base, and there's not an athlete to be passionate about. And I don't know how you fix it. I really don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. I don't watch the NBA. Go Vegas.
Say that every day. At least you're consistent.
You're such a red ass, Phil. The NBA is going in a direction where they want teams to be able to pick up 6'6" guys, long wingspans, and make them useful. I guess.
But like, I don't even have a problem with that on its face. I agree. 6-foot guard is no longer of use in the NBA. It's why Donovan Mitchell is having trouble deep in the postseason, because he's facing teams with a ton of length, and a lot of the passing and a lot of the strategy he employs doesn't work against teams that are full of 6'6" plus guys.
I agree.
It just doesn't work. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I just think that Yeah, if you want to have a conversation about the build of the modern NBA player, yeah, you need to be six plus. You got to be able to shoot the three at a minimum, and ideally you can handle. If you can do those three things, if you're 6'6" plus, you can shoot the three at 38% or more, ideally 40, and you can handle, you're going to be just fine in the NBA. No problem at all. But if you can't do one of those three, now we got to have a conversation about being a role player.
Yeah. I miss the NBA terribly. I love it. I absolutely love it. I do. You know how they remade Space Jam with LeBron? You mean LaFlop? La Golfer?
LeBag?
I hear they're going to remake Flipper, but call it Flopper starring SGA.
Right. See what you did there. It all works together.
Maybe Danhausen cursed the Spurs. He didn't curse anybody. You two are funny. I enjoy your show. It's only because you hate golf.
Yeah.
It is only because you hate golf.
Yeah.
Jake, did you see Bryson has a mustache now?
I did see that. Yes, I did.
Were you a little...
Hey, Bryson, did you figure out when you're going to shoot your next, YouTube show?
Wow. He's not leaving professional golf. He's not. I wouldn't even worry about that. But whatever. The problem is that the sports have gone too corporate and they have lost all sense of community. Well, I would say that about something like the World Cup. The World Cup is too corporate. The fact that you're taking names off of stadiums for these clowns, come on. The NBA is not too corporate. I don't think. Do you think the NBA is too corporate?
I think that there's definitely a dynamic at play where the NBA's got like loads of sponsorship happening, and I think that the Commissioner Ears has taken it to a place where it's very much just it is a very corporate-ese kind of feel right now. It lacks culture. It lacks, it just doesn't have the depth that it used to have. It doesn't have the personalities it used to have. And I think part of that is how they run the league with all these different tournaments. And it's as simple as the All-Star game not having, white jerseys and dark jerseys, and each of those jerseys are from your own team. It's as simple as going away from little things like that and going to the World versus USA or doing a draft or like, you know what I mean? Like they just have gotten away from the older traditions. And I think, that's like, there should be a league mandate that stars have to do the slam dunk competition, man. There should be so many different things that they should be doing that they're not. And so then we're surprised when the league falls off and it's like, well, you guys aren't doing anything that you should be doing. Like that's the issue. So, it sucks. It's brutal. Like, and typically I'm not the, hey, this sucks guy as a take, but this does genuinely just suck because it's just being ruined.
All right. And before we leave, let's ruin your day. Iranian state TV.
Oh God, here we go.
Has released a memo of understanding with the United States to end the war in Iran, which is not finalized. The U.S. will call for U.S. military forces to withdraw from the vicinity in totality of the vicinity of Iran in totality, lift the blockade on Iranian ports. In return, the Iranians have committed to restoring the number of commercial ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz to pre-war levels within 30 days. The management and route of marine traffic through the state will be controlled completely by Iran with oversight from Oman. So what did we...
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
There is nothing in this memo of understanding about enrichment materials or minerals.
Nope. Yeah, I just paid $95 to fill up my car yesterday. Don't help Americans. Don't worry about us, dude. It's fine. Don't worry about us.
Just going to go ahead and put that down.
Yeah. Yep.
Let the negativity begin.
Yep.
Let the negativity begin. Tomorrow we'll debate 12 or 24 on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates. The Advocates.
Yeah, $12 or $24 a gallon. What do you prefer?
UFC 250 straight ahead on the Monty Show.
Yeah.
Please hit the like button on your way out the door. Appreciate you guys watching the show, presented by the Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business. It's the most dangerous 100 days of the year. Please slow down when you're driving. Please limit your distractions. Keep your eyes on the road. There's a lot of families, kids, everybody's on the streets. Slow down. Be careful. And if the worst happens, get the best at theadvocates.com, where you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.